Rick, happy
Hey
Tuesday.
Megan, happy Tuesday it is.
It is also the end of the month,
Mhm.
and the end of the month is always not so fun for escrow officers and loan officers and that sort of thing because everybody wants to get their houses closed by the end of the month so they can move in. But
Yep.
today was pretty good for me. I had three listings close escrow today. All
Yay.
this morning, my escrow officer is on fire. I mean,
Yeah.
I sat down and it was like boom, boom, boom. And then she already sent out the closing packages. Everybody's got their money on the way. Everybody's happy. I just did a 2-hour walkthrough that was adorable on that. I don't know if you saw that big historic house I had on West Street. It was stunning. And this very lovely buyer bought it. The minute I saw them, I thought these people are going to love this house. And it worked
Yeah.
out perfectly. They were
Very good.
wonderful to be in escrow with. And so after I'm done, all my calls and stuff today, I might pour a glass of wine, put my feet up for a minute and just reflect
Yeah, right.
on working with nice people, which
hmm
is always my MO.
Yeah, as always.
I know. And I know you've got some new clients of ours that
hmm
found me online and sent me a message, and you got them all approved and ready to go, and
Yeah, we're good.
I
Yeah, it's
appreciate
great.
that.
Yeah, thank you. I appreciate you.
I really like them. They really
Yeah,
seem like,
super cool. Super
yeah,
cool
we're
people.
super good match. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
So um let's talk about we're in, gosh, it's gonna be May tomorrow. That's the fifth month.
Can you imagine?
And I know everything's going so fast. So um last year when the interest rates went up, I heard a lot of people in the industry say, and industry experts, that
hmm
the rates would be decreasing in 2024 for sure. And maybe we'd even see rates in the fives, but this has not been the case. And this is why I don't bet on these types
hmm
of gambles, because been there, done that. So can you tell us
Yep.
kind of like what's going on with the interest rates and why people should marry the house and date the rate and just
hmm
don't wait for rates to go down because it's may or may not ever happen? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, it's a valid discussion right now because when we entered the period of, well, it's 2.5 years ago now, when we knew rates were going to go up. We look at late 2021, early 22, we knew we were in that trending upward on rates. And but
Mm-hmm.
typically the cycle, what drives those rates is going to be the economic data, principally the inflation data. So we knew at that time inflation was going up. And the way you control inflation is you raise interest rates. And the idea behind that, and when I say rates, it's all rates. It's car loans, it's credit cards, it's
Yeah.
consumer loans, everything. And so the idea behind that is that when you raise interest rates, people will stop spending money. They'll stop buying washers and dryers and cars and all kinds of fancy stuff, right? And as they stop buying, that's going to impact manufacturing, retail sales, and so on. And so the effect of that will be that the economy will start to slow down. That means inflation, or the raising rates did its job. And when the inflation goes down, you can actually at that point lower the rates.
Mm-hmm.
Because when inflation is going down like that, what you want to do is what they try to do is they try to balance that out. You don't want the inflation to go down so much where you have almost like a negative inflation where you start to go into
Mm-hmm.
recession. So the way you get out of recession is you lower the rates to, guess what, trigger spending.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of the cycle. So we went into this a couple of years ago, 2.5 years ago, knowing that's historically how that works.
Mm-hmm.
However, fast forward to now, all the data that comes out shows that, guess what, people are still spending money. You have
People
growth in
stop
the
spending
economy.
money. Yeah.
Stop spending money, right? I mean, what hurt us about 3 weeks ago now, the CPI came out, which is Consumer Price Index, came out much hotter than expected. That means people are spending money. Okay, well, that tells the feds when that number came out, that tells the feds right away that, well, hold everything here, because they've been talking about, having these Fed rates cuts, probably 3 this year, starting one in June. Well, when that number came out, it's very clear we're not getting inflation under control, and inflation is still very much evident and in place in the marketplace. And so, guess what? The feds are now not going to reduce the rates as people anticipated. And
Mm-hmm.
so when you see that kind of cycle, and by the way, it's defying all logic, because history shows these cycles. And for whatever reason, in this current cycle, it's not following the tradition.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So because of that, we're going to see what I call, when the rates, at least on mortgage rates, they'll start trading sideways. They really won't have any direction. They'll go up and down, but there's no real clear path to a rate drop. And
Mm-hmm.
so what we have to just know, at least for the foreseeable future, until we see some of this data changing, expect the rates to kind of be where they're at, with some little bit of volatility depending upon where it's going. But we're not going to see rates drop to 5% or 4% this year. And so
No.
sometimes what I hear people saying is, and we all hear it, well, rates are too high. Well, historically, by the way, rates are not too high. Historically, where the rates are is a good rate environment. We just are kind of spoiled, I guess you could say, by the environment we had 3 years ago when the rates were way below normal. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
the feds were buying bonds that prop up the market. So a 3% rate, by the way, is not normal. What's
Mm-hmm.
really normal is rates in the sixes. That's a normal
Mm-hmm.
market. Okay.
Right.
So got to put that in perspective. Rates aren't high, but we want rates to be lower? Yes, of course we want rates to be lower. Will they get lower? They will, I think, at some point. But guess what? We can't call that. We just
Mm-hmm.
don't know. So the idea of, let's say, I'm going to wait for rates to go down to buy a house, that at this point in time is not a thought process that's going to get you ahead of that curve.
Right.
It's just not.
Well, I think that the writing is on the wall here with how the rest of the year is going to go.
Right.
And I do see that I'm trying to pull up. I should have pulled this up earlier. I apologize, but
It's okay.
I do see additional houses for sale. And so I see that the inventory is climbing a little bit, and but still, I like last week, we had an accepted offer, and we were one of 19 offers on a house,
Right.
but that one really had the location going for it, and so I mean, there is still a lot of competition. Things aren't going crazy, but
Right.
it's really, really important to, before you make offers and that sort of thing, to become, like you always say, the most prepared buyer in the room, and to make sure that when it's your turn that you're ready to get it done, because
Right.
yeah, you don't want to not being able to be competitive. I mean, sometimes offering a quick closing or quick contingency removal, that sort of thing, that could be the difference between getting your offer accepted and getting it not accepted.
Right.
So do your homework ahead of time, at least.
Yeah, and that's so true. I mean, sometimes we all get in situations. I know for me, I'll get a call at 6 o'clock on a Saturday evening. Hey, we're writing an offer. I need an approval letter. Oh, yeah, we can do that. But now you got 6 offers in front of you, and I can't give you an approval letter like on the spot. There's a process for that.
Yeah.
And so
Yeah.
whenever that happens, we're fighting an uphill battle because we're not prepared. And when you're not prepared, we know from experience that listing agents perceive that, they sense that, they feel it.
Yeah.
And so they go, well, no, you're not really ready yet, and you got 5 offers in front of you, and that can be discouraging because it's a great house and they really qualify, but we're just not prepared enough yet to really execute. We've
Right.
got to be prepared.
Yeah, I agree. Well, Rick, I appreciate your insight on this, and I think the more people know, the more they can plan ahead.
Right. Absolutely true.
All right, thank you. Hang in there. Have a good
Thank
rest
you,
of your
Megan.
day.
Thanks, you too. Thanks, Megan. Appreciate you.
Bye.